And what do we notice here? We've hit our frustration level. I now know for this student where I need as a teacher to support them. I know I can go back and look at the behind the scene information that was given to me in these task card packets to know what really was going on in these sets of task cards or in these groups of 5. And I have some interventions there in the product itself that I can then put in place for this student. Hi friends, my name is Ciera Harris and I am the author at adventuresofroom129.com, and I'm really excited that you're joining me today to talk about task cards. As I know that you as a teacher are a true lover of task cards, as am I. As any good reflective teacher does, I've really been thinking about my usage of task cards lately and how I can figure out how to use them better in the classroom. So as I was reflecting, and yes, every good teacher makes an anchor chart, right? I kind of came up with a list of some pros and cons to task cards, and I hope that you will agree with some of these on me. So yes, task cards are great. They are very quick to use. They're easy prep. I mean, good gosh, we just have to cut them, right, and laminate them if we want. They come in a variety of content. They are versatile, meaning that you can do scoots, you can, they can be independent, and they are very easy to store. So when it comes to, activities, independent centers, and different things that we use, task cards are a great way to go. But you do see that there are some cons to them, and this is kind of where that reflective thinking on my end came in. So one of the things that I kept thinking of was data. I'm not getting a lot of true data from my task cards. And it's because of this one down here. I have to take so much time to grade their recording sheets when it comes to task cards. I'm sorry, but ain't nobody got time for that, right? So I really want to try to see how can I shorten my grading time, shorten the amount of time it takes for them to complete the task cards. Can I get some more data out of them? And also, how can we differentiate them for all of our different learners? If I'm just throwing a single set of task cards to them and having all of my students do them, that's not very differentiated. And so I want to make sure that everything that I'm giving my students has a true purpose. And so that's when I bring you to my crazy idea that I hope you will stick with me to hear all about. So I think this idea will help completely revitalize and revolutionize task cards. And I'm sure you will be just excited at the end of our little video as I am right now. So thinking about the con side of our task cards, I wanted to think of a way to get all of those onto the pro side. I want to make task cards completely perfect for myself in the classroom and for other teachers as well. So I got this crazy idea back from when the 𝗦ici𝗰𝗶 books were very popular and you had your create your own story. So every story, no matter if I'm reading it or my brother was reading the same book, we would have 2 different stories depending on what pages we read. So I want you to kind of think about that when it comes to task cards. How can we create our own journey for students depending on their levels and depending on what actual support that they need? So here is the idea. I have created these task cards. They are reading task cards as of right now. I do have plans in the future to do some grammar and some math ones as well, but for right now, just reading and reading strategies. So yes, it may look like an ordinary task card, but I promise you it's not. Down here at the bottom are the directions of where the student now journeys to in their task card journey based on their answer. All right, so we're gonna do a little scenario. Let's pretend I'm a higher student. I answer my question and I get the question correct. They don't know if they're getting their questions correct or incorrect in these journeys. All they know is based on their answer, they're told to go somewhere. So in this task card, it says if I chose answer B, I need to go to task card number 6. When I do card number 6, if I get it right, again, they don't know that, but it might say go to task card number 11, and so on and so forth. If I'm getting cards incorrect, it's going to kind of slow the pace down and give me some more practice, all right? Some behind the scenes information that only teachers will know. These task cards are designed in groups of 5. So card 1 through 5, 6 through 10, 11 through 15, and so on. Each group of 5 cards are a certain or specific question type and question level. Starting with group 1 through 5, you have your very basic understanding of vocabulary, below level questions, most students should breeze through them. Then your next set of 5 are a little bit harder. You've got your DOK level 1, and then your next set is a little harder, and so on and so forth. So I have differentiation embedded into the task cards themselves. If I'm a higher student, go back to our little scenario, and I'm not struggling with this, I'm going to hit cards 1, I'm going to hit card 6, 11, 16, and so on and so forth. I may only have to do 6 cards in the entire 30 pack. If I'm a lower student, it's going to have me practice a few more of those cards before I move on to those higher levels. So I could be sitting next to a student and 5 other students, and all 5 of us could have completely different journeys through our task cards. So another important piece that I really want to share with you before we go is the information and the data that teachers will get on their end and how powerful it is. So I do have a recording sheet real quick that I want to show you. So this would be what a recording sheet would look like if I were, again, back to that scenario, that higher student. So you can see some of the X'd out squares. Those are the squares that the student didn't have to complete. They went back and they put X's into the blanks where they did not put an answer. And those directions are on the student version of the recording sheet. So then you can see here where the students completed the questions. So you can see they got this one correct. So it told them to go to card 6. This one they did not get correct. It had them go to card 7. This one they got correct, but you know what? They got one right, one wrong. It gave them another question. It had them go to card 8. They got it right. They're good to go. They went to the next set of questions. They got it right. They clearly know that level, or they don't need that one anymore. Then they went to the next level. And what do we notice here? We've hit our frustration level. I now know for this student where I need as a teacher to support them. I know I can go back and look at the behind the scene information that was given to me in these task card packets to know what really was going on in these sets of task cards or in these groups of 5. And I have some interventions there in the product itself that I can then put in place for this student. So not only am I seeing the journey that my student created, it's no longer about grading. I don't have to grade this. I'm looking for 2 things. How many questions did the student get right? Or did the student complete it all? And then how many, where is the frustration level for the student at all? So all of this is completely laid out for you in all the behind the scenes in the letter to the teacher in any of these task cards that you will download. I promise it's all spelled out and I don't leave you hanging with any questions. And if you do have questions, I'm right here. So please feel free to ask. So one of the things that is in that information is how many task cards does a student need to complete to be high, average, or low. So the ranking that I kind of came up with, so for a high student, they would complete anywhere from 6 to 12 cards. An average student would complete anywhere from 13 to 21 cards, and then a low student would complete anywhere from 21 all the way to the end of 30. So when I'm looking at recording sheets, it's no longer about grading. Holla! It is about how many task cards did they do. I can count here and see that this student did 17 task cards. That puts them in the average range, which makes sense when I look at this. But then I also can see that frustration level. So when I pull the student to do fact and opinion, because it's written fact and opinion up here, so I know exactly what they were working on. So when I pull them to do fact and opinion, I can pull students who had the same frustration level. Who else had problems with these groups of 5 questions? And let's work on those together. So it's got great data. It's automatically differentiated. No 2 students will have the same journey. And it's almost like a puzzle. So something else I do want to let you know is these task cards do have 2 versions. So if you are uncomfortable with having the where I go next on the bottom of the task card, there is a version in every packet with that off of the task card, and then a separate half-page answer key is provided. So if you'd rather have an answer key face down in the middle of the group with students looking at it and then folding it back down, that's available for you as well. Please, if you have any questions about these amazing task cards, please ask. Click on the link. I'm going to be posting a link along with this video. And in the product description, which is kind of lengthy, but it spells out everything we just talked about. So I wanted to give you all as much information about these task cards that I think will truly transform our independent centers using task cards. And so I wanted to be very transparent with everything before you ever would purchase. So if you have any questions, please comment below or ask me in the Q&A on TPT. I'd be more than willing to help you out. I am going to be bundling them. As of right now, I have 3 different sets. I have Author's Purpose, Fact and Opinion, and what was that other one? Oh, Text Features. It's sitting right next to me. So I have 3 up right now, but I plan to have 16 of them in the bundle. So check that out. I'm going to be doing a special price for the first week or so that I have these. So I hope that you are in love with task cards as much as I am. And I will talk to you all very soon. Thank you for joining. Have a wonderful summer.